We'll start in a seated position. Reaching down through the center of pelvis and also through the bones. It's both letting the mass and the bones of the body descend per gravity, and also sensing the lightness and the ability of the bones and the mass to move in accord with breath. Let's take a few moments and just feel and find out if we can hold both of those together. Start to deepen our breath. Softening the abdomen. We're going to work some alternate nostril breathing. Let's go right hand thumb to right nostril. Inhale through the left nostril. We'll switch, exhale out the right. So we're going to elide into the technique. We're going to build ourselves a little foundation first. Inhaling through the right. To switch and exhale out the left. As you're doing this next round, let the hand be restfully steady, lightly touching the nose, and align the center of your head over the center of the heart and the pelvis. Can you discern if your head is starting to twist or turn toward or away from your hand? Let's continue next couple of rounds, just inserting a passing hold. So just let the switch of the hands just occur slowly. So inhaling through the left. Just taking a patient switch of the fingers. So the ring finger goes down, the thumb lifts, exhale. So it's just the introduction of a really tiny pause, almost a holding of the breath, almost. We'll do one more like that. So thus far, nothing's counted. These final 2 rounds, feel where the breath moves, contacts in your person. So you can go specifically and precisely to an area of your body. If you want to practice breathing in and from the heart, you can certainly create that focus. You can also just study the nature of the contact, the breath, body, contact. And for me, this is a little bit like getting a different quality of impression of the body. Where the breath contacts, interacts. There might be just the subtlest layer of emotionality, texture, tone. So again, this can be done in an open, exploring search way or in a focused, wondering way. And one of the things that matters here is that we just get to our seat and we're able to make the choice to change our breathing. That's a big part of it. Can I breathe differently now? And another part of it is, can I start to weave the breath with quality of mind? If the breath is going to carry a thought, can I select that thought? If I'm going to use my mental faculties or my mind, can I use images and focus in a way that works and is compatible with my breath? Let's bring the soles of the feet together when you're through. Baddha Konasana. I'm going to take 3 breaths. And this time we will shift the focus because I want you to feel your breath in and with this lower third of your body. Lower being the pelvis, the lower abdomen, and the legs, the tail, the perineum. So by breathing, we're just sensing the environment of our feeling awareness in this address, in this depth, in this particular interior of our person. Okay. We're going to do side bend, right hand to the ground. Inhale, lift the left arm away from the left sit bone. Exhaling, relax the head, the neck. Draw the right shoulder down away from the neck and the head. And continue to feel. It's using your breath as a feeling movement apparatus, if you will. Kind of sensing this is non-specific, but it's regionally specific. The waist and the organs and the pelvis and the abdomen and the back. Okay. Inhale, we'll bring the left hand to the left thigh. You may have to change the position of the right hand. With both hands down on surface, exhale. Use hands to create a little vertical movement of torso away from this pelvic abdominal area. And release. We'll do the other side. Side bend first. Left hand down. Inhale. Draw the right arm up. Lifting it away from the right sit bone. And exhaling. Lifting, growing the waist away from the hips. The ribs away from the waist. So continue to learn how breath contacts this area. And so when we're contacting the physical body, you might feel more the contours and the texture and of our bones, our muscles, our structure. And you can also breathe and feel the space in which the body lives. They're both options. And then inhaling, bringing that right hand to the right thigh. Left hand still on the ground. I have to move mine back though. And then exhaling, using both hands, downward pressure to feel the trunk lifting away from the pelvis. Doesn't have to be hard. If something's really achy, you can simply intimate that vertical movement of the trunk with your breath. Once more. And we'll release. Let's cross the right over the left and take a seated spinal twist, half lotus. Inhaling, feeling the ribs telescope up away from the waist. And exhaling, turning to our right. Good point. Notice if you're disconnecting, if the feeling focused awareness within your body, if it evaporates a little bit when we exhale. Do you remain connected, in contact with, feeling your body or your area? Entirely through the breath. The in, the out. Something I've just been kind of noticing a little bit is it's almost like we'll establish the connection with our body on the in breath and then just kind of vacate on the out. But that needn't be so. Release. We'll switch sides. Left over right. release. Inhaling, unwind. All right. We're going to set up abdominals. Lying back. So we're going to use the reach and the turn of the leg just to help get some movement around those sacral taproot, those joints. So with the feet off the ground, inhale, we'll draw the head and the blades up. And curl tailbone. And exhale, raise the right leg, go straight up, reaching through the heel. We're going to internally rotate that leg. Let's take another inhale. And as you exhale, reach up through that right leg and then just allow that recoil, and we'll reach up a few times. It's almost we're creating a pulse. Cool, low belly down. Inhale, bend the right knee. Curl tailbone. Now exhale, raise the left leg. Let's reach up through the heel. We'll take another inhale for this one. And then exhaling, rotate in the leg, reach up a few times. Get the whole leg moving. Pull low belly down. Inhale, bend the left knee. Let's do one breath per side, curl tailbone. Exhale, reach up through the right heel. Internally rotating it and reaching up a few times. Pull low belly down. Inhale. Curl tailbone, exhale, left heel reach, reach up, rotating in a few times. I'm keeping the rotation and doing the reach as a pulse. Pull low belly down. All right, let's do 3 more each side. You might generate a little seesaw action between the halves of your sacrum. So one side of that sacrum and pelvis is kind of lifting around the fulcrum of the other. So sometimes we do this just to create some distinction between the thigh bone and the pelvis. And sometimes we can do it to move the pelvis, almost to roll one half this way and then to roll one half toward the sky that way. It becomes a different creature, becomes a different movement in the sacral joints. Mm-hmm. All right. That looks complete, I think. So let's use our roll and place it between the legs. And reach the legs up. Inhale into low belly, low back. And as you squeeze the roll, exhales, reach up a little bit extra through the left heel. Almost like you're making your left leg appear longer and pull low belly down. Inhale, let that left leg and heel just kind of sink and settle back toward the ground. And give the roll a little squeeze, and as you exhale, reach to the right leg, the right heel, as if you're creating the appearance of your right leg being longer. Pull low belly down. So it's just another way to feel that back and forth between the sacrum. We'll do a couple more like so. Inhale. Giving the roll a little touch squeeze, and then exhale, the left heel lifts toward the sky. Let's see if the roll gives us a different feeling. So if I wanted to slip my hand into my left back pocket, there's actually a little bit of room there. Pull low belly down. Inhale. Let that left heel kind of recoil or let back down to the ground. Give the roll a little touch squeeze, and exhale, reach up through the right leg. Pull low belly down. Let's do one more. Inhale. Give a little light squeeze. Exhale, reach up through the left heel. Starting to get some movement around the low back or the sacrum. Pull low belly down. Inhale. Give a little touch squeeze. Exhale, the right heel lifts, reaches. And pull low belly down. All right. Inhale. Let's set the feet down. Lying spinal twist. If you need a prop, like some blocks or roll, you can set that up on the right side of your body. Bending the left knee. Inhale into low belly, low back. Right leg straighten along the ground. And exhale, turning onto the right side. Sometimes it's worth playing with that little sacral position in twist. It might be beneficial to create the feeling of your left thigh bone, your left knee reaching into the space ahead of your abdomen. It might feel more beneficial if your left thigh and your left knee felt kind of more situated in toward the space at your back. So these are little details we explore when we need to, maybe. And inhale, we'll come back center. And we'll go with a right knee bent. And turning to the left side. And release. So we exit out of that lying twist. Set up elbows with a strap. You can do this from any seated position that you want or sitting on a block. Okay. This is that shoulder width position with the strap encircling the arm bone just above the elbow. I still have mine set from yesterday, so the spacing is there. And so working this in an unlocking the shoulder manner, inhale and allow the shoulders to start to glide down away from the neck. And exhaling, you can allow the strap to just hold that contained. We can find that external rotation. So one of the ways we can rotate the shoulder is if our hands, almost like a little socket wrench, almost want to drift out. But remember, the hands are just a way to get the movement understood. The feeling, the rotations going on in the shoulder. So feel the shoulder area, the shoulder blade. And then can you broaden the shoulder blades? When we release, we're going to change the orientation of this. We're still going to use strap. I think it's mostly beneficial for us. I'm going to use the wall as a way to fix the hands and lower the torso. Let me show a profile here. I'm not too concerned about the torso angle. I just want my elbows in front of my body, but gravity led. That's all I'm really looking for. So that when I let my elbows, they can easily gravity move away from my torso. Then reach the sit bones back. Keep the hand touch. The elbows are bent. But as you reach the sit bones back, something else occurs. If you had rounded your back in that process of setup, and many of us do, we round the spine in are figuring how to broaden the shoulder blades. But as you reach the sit bones back, you start to lengthen out the spine. Let it ride a few more breaths. It's an easy place to physically be. And then there's the breath part of it. And feeling and getting the breath into all those wonderful rib places. Release. So if we drop that strap for a moment, let's find out how dolphin goes. So we have the forearms set up. What of that is able to be recreated. Can I feel the move of the shoulder blades apart from one another? And exhale the knees off the ground. And release. Inhale, slide hands under shoulders. Exhale, downward dog. Same principles. Broadening through the upper shoulder blade area. Drifting the sit bones back without shrugging. We're not trying to shrug the shoulders. Broaden the shoulders. Lengthening through the spine. Inhale the left foot forward, warrior two. Exhaling, gliding the shoulders down, reaching out through the fingertips, spreading open the hands. Place your left palm on your left thigh. And do this as a little sacral move, hip move, sacral move. Your right hand, grab your hip bone. So I've got my right hand fingers on my hip bone, my left palm on my thigh bone. Inhale. And then exhale, give a little nudge with both hands. The left palm nudges the thigh. The right hand kind of picks up the hip bone. Okay, we're going to release. Set the right hand on the right thigh. Inhaling, hover that left hand out over the thigh. So we're just taking the teeny tiniest bend here. And we inhale, coming up right. Bring the left elbow in front of the left shoulder. Exhale, now glide that left shoulder down, the left shoulder blade down. Reaching that arm bone forward. Going to apply the palm, get a little more chest muscle. So these moves that we're doing, we're not trying to make slack the shoulder. Exhale, press palm into elbow, elbow into palm. And feel, let me get a little closer. Get really specific about the engagement is coming from the chest muscle on the wall of your ribs and not just this little joint spot in the front of your shoulder. So again, as you're pressing, sometimes I have to organize the arm out a little bit to feel this muscle, the pec, getting the rrr. We're not trying to make this go clunk or clank or make this the hot spot of sensation, the front point of the shoulder, the head of the shoulder. Okay, release. So inhale, straighten out of that warrior stance, setting both feet out in a symmetric stance. Flank stretch. Now we will take a deeper bend. I pitch the toes in a tiny bit. Torso hangs. Left hand, reach for right ankle. Allow the head and the neck to relax. Feel how breath contacts the body. So if you're breathing into the middle of the torso, the heart and the lung generally, you can get a general sense of the area. The tone, the timbre, the emotionality, the just quality of buzz or pulsation or liveliness or fullness. And then release. Inhale. Let's walk the feet apart, setting the hands just centrally. Does this have to be the biggest, widest splits ever? No. You can simply go to an interesting place in the inner leg. It doesn't have to be the biggest stretch. In fact, I find that before the big stretch feeling is a very interesting breathing place. You can feel the muscles of the deep, kind of the pelvic floor. There's a high, to me a higher, but a high responsivity to breath if you're willing to play with gradations of splits. Inhale, heel toe feet together enough that we can set up pigeon. So you don't have to walk them all the way, just enough to set the right knee down and to walk the left foot over. All right, inhale, bring the hands under the shoulders. Exhaling, let's go downward dog. Warrior two. Inhale the right foot forward. So we're going to start off with the hip. Right palm on right thigh. And the left hand, fingertips, just wrap around, hook on, hook round the hip bone. Each hand contributing to the bones. That quality of nudge with the palm. There's that quality of pick it up with the hip bone, or the fingertips rather. So your left hand goes right here. Double manual help. So you're physically picking the bone up as you're physically nudging the bone out. So when we do things like side bending and reverse warrior and all those, like we're getting a feeling sense of how to not collapse in the hip. We're physically picking ourselves up out of a collapsed shape and getting acquainted with it. We're going to release the hands, set the left hand on the left thigh. Hover the right hand over that right thigh. Allow the right side of the neck to find ease. Feel the breath contact made with the neck, the head, the collar. And can you do this without collapsing in that right hip? So we're putting this together, like the jaw and the hip, intentionally. Right, flank stretch. Inhale, we'll straighten out of that stance. Convert to a symmetric stance and fold. Right hand reaches for left ankle. This kind of practice is really helpful to me for it identification. So we're feeling their breath make contact in and with the body. We're feeling for that contact. And occasionally, I'm just supposing that we don't always encounter that. That we're breathing. Our intellect says we're breathing. I'm breathing. I'm doing yoga. But, that gosh darn feeling. That. There, it, that. There's a subtle distancing in our identification of a sensation. Oh, that, it, the thing, the that. And that's our contact, that's our chance to change the way that we're distancing ourselves or contacting ourselves. Okay. You're going to release out of that plank stretch. And we are going to go into splits. So we get a 2-timer. This time when we go into splits, again, doesn't need to be the deepest, furthest. In fact, don't go the deepest, furthest. Is we're going to do a round of Uddiyana here. So I'm just getting enough of a walkout where it's like, oh, that's fun, that's interesting in the pelvic floor. And we'll mildly, maybe moderately, exhale. Just get everything out. Remain empty and draw the belly in. It includes the perineum, which you probably felt getting recruited in that outwhoosh of breath. Let's do a second. Resuming Ujjayi breath. Heel toe your feet in just enough that we can convert this wide stance to pigeon, setting the left knee down, walking the right leg down. Right, inhale, let's walk the hands under shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. All right. So let's arrive at standing or rest. I'm going to go to the wall, and there's a few things we'll pick up on from yesterday and add to. So I'm going to just breeze right into some handstand variation. So we did one yesterday where we are walking the feet up much higher than we usually do. And this just starts to give us a tiny little flavor of the unflared ribs in our handstand. It's another way to do handstand. So gymnasts and circus will tend to do them a certain way, and then divers and some yoga will do them another way. Lots of ways. So a quick go through just to freshen our memory. From our downward dog at the wall, I'm taking a little bit narrower footprint, or not narrower, shorter. Still wrapping the shoulders, and now when I place my foot up, it's much higher than my, what's that? Hip. Got it. And once you put both of your feet up, it's the tailbone move. I'm going to imagine it's the tailbone move that kind of gets us wondering about our butt. So I'll try to watch for this. If I can see it, I can see it. If I can't, it's fine. Um, but if I say move your tailbone and then move it the other way, that's probably what's happening, is that like the wag of the butt, the flare of the ribs. It's just we can pick up on it and change it in space. I think a lot easier in this position than in others. So go ahead, I'll perfect. Yeah, once I get my toes on that wall, it's almost like my feet, my toe pads want to hook that wall down into the earth, and then I, woo, get a free ride. Okay. So two is working the it looks like a pigeon shape in our handstand. So I don't want to go through vertical splits today. It's just personally I don't. Um, but if you really like vertical splits and you want to set that up on your way in, be your guest. It is your practice. Okay. So if I were doing vertical splits, I'd kind of walk all this hand and foot stuff way, way, way back. Please note the toe pads and my forefoot are hooked under. And then I'm using all that butt technology just to help lift, guide me off my shoulders. Okay. This won't be a perfect looking pigeon, at least not for me. And we'll do both sides. So, same principles. If you're feeling like you want a little more stretch through the leg, you can work into your vertical splits for some breaths. And then we're just plucking that ground foot off the ground into a pigeon shape. Mm-hmm. So it's generally my feet that are on the wall. It's generally not my knee, but everyone's a little different. There you go. Mm-hmm. Ah. I'll watch this for the other side too. It's also nice just to get a little dose of the handstand flavor, even if we're not kicking up. So it's a little more compact, and there you go. Gets the front side pretty excited, supportive. There you go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. Good for not spilling your jelly beans all over. All right. When we come back to our mat or away from the wall, we'll move through some suns, and there'll be a few little extras in there. So even in standing, some of that handstand, that unflared ribs, the lengthy, spacious low back, maybe that's still kind of echoing into our standing pose. Chair pose. Inhale, bend knees, reach arms up. Exhale, fold. Softening through the neck and the spine relaxes down. Monkey, inhale. Glide the shoulders away from the neck, chest moves away from the lap. Exhale, step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Warrior one. Inhale, right foot forward. Chaturanga, set the hands down. Exhale, right foot back. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Left foot. Inhale, left foot forward, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. I'm sorry, we missed a pose so long ago. Inhale, step or lightly jump your feet forward. Monkey. It was a long time ago pose. We'll maybe get it back. Exhale, fold. Chair. Inhale, bend knees, reach arms up. Exhaling, stand. Hands to heart. Let's go another round. Chair pose. Inhale, bend knees, reach arms up. Exhale, fold. Monkey. Inhale. Exhale, step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward, warrior one. Hands to ground, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Right foot. Inhale, right foot forward. Warrior one. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, step or lightly jump feet forward, monkey. Exhale, fold. Chair, inhale, bend knees, reach arms up. And stand, exhale, hands to heart. A couple extras. Chair pose. Inhale, bend knees, reaching arms up. Exhale, fold, straightening legs, unflaring the ribs. Sponging through those guts, letting go the neck. Monkey, inhale. And chest away from the lap. We'll place the hands down. Exhale, step feet back, both feet back, chaturanga. Move each shoulder down the ribs, away from the head. Inhale, upward dog. Palm press straight down away from the shoulders. Pull the chest forward. Exhale, downward dog. Unflaring the ribs. And that'll help with just carry the low back nicely. And pause right here in downward dog. Strongly working the legs and the heels toward the earth. Strongly outreaching, vibrant arm lines. And deep breath through the whole core and the trunk, spine of your body. And again, the contact. Sometimes the mind can imagine all sorts of wonderful images and distractions and things. And amidst all that, when you feel the breath in and with the body, there's a quality of contact. The breath brings us something to these images and the action of the mind that the action of the mind cannot seem to do alone. So the mind with the breath, powerful. The breath and the mind with the body, supercharged. Warrior one, warrior two, my mistake, again. Inhale the right foot forward. Warrior two. So I'm going to tidy up some loose ends. I'm in debt to you one pose, so let's get it. Right elbow in front of right shoulder. I felt the difference in my shoulders, so I don't know. Maybe you did yours. Inhale into the upper back. Exhale the shoulder down. It's actually how I remembered, right? And place the left palm to the right elbow. Inhale. Now finesse the position of the elbow so that as you press, that rings distinctly as chest muscle and not just like the little delt muscles, the little shoulder. Release. All right, we've taken care of business. Business of debt. So let's move into scissors. I'm a little slow on the words today, but I'm okay with it if you are. Tuck this right arm under the right thigh. Now from here, you can do one, simply walk the legs apart into something like a splits. Two, you can do scissors. Or three, you can set the left knee down and work splits. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of make sure there's a lot of wide open fields to play in today. Oh, interesting. Let me see what y'all doing. Okay, so you are doing splits. Breathe into the back of the sacrum. I just got the distinct impression that you may have been working splits, someone, and you're maybe inadvertently or unknowingly squeezing the back of the sacrum. Okay. So sometimes my impressions are a little off, but inhale. If you're in scissors, we'll just step back because we've been practicing stepping back or walking the foot back out of splits. Downward dog. Okay, we'll use warrior two to go through and to go into either our scissors or our splits. It's an either or. Just choose one. So we inhale the left foot forward. Okay. So if you're working scissors, tuck that left arm under the left thigh. Position hands under your hips. And you can begin your walkout, which is the descent of your hips onto your arms. And if you're doing splits today, maybe just the hand pressure isn't working for you. And just kind of as you're choosing and moving, I'm going to draw up an advertisement for the case for scissors. So one of the places we're kind of situating the arm bone is kind of right in that fleshy, muscly waist part near the hip bone. And sometimes my elbow, if I'm bracing or not bracing, that elbow can move in a significant way into that musculature around the hip bone. So to be, fair and honest, sometimes I'll walk into scissors and just use my elbow, just gotta use the pose as self-massage. And you can do some pretty profound kind of self-massage work right inside that hip bone. And so while it looks like scissors, getting some magnificent breaths into that waist and that back. While you have the position, you can be drawing that leg back, that right leg back. But you can get a lot of life just kind of smoothed out in the pelvis and in the sacrum if you're willing to just kind of be a little playful, clever, and sometimes just foregoing the flight of a thing for the exploration of a thing. Just ideas. And then we'll back it up or step back into downward dog. These are some of the conditionings and the tenderness movement that we often need to get into something like scissors. Like if the muscles still contain a lot of just kind of pain or soreness, sometimes it's really great to just have those alternate ways of using a pose to work through, work with. All right. When we inhale the left foot forward, interlock warrior. Oh, pardon me. I'm a little getting myself turned around. Right foot forward. We started with the right foot forward. My mistake again. Interlock. Right arm encircles the right thigh. Left arm behind back. Feeling the breath contact in the body with the body. The image of where you are in your body can help set course, can help us focus, can help us kind of streamline our way there. The breath really presents us the feeling, the felt information of being consciousness in a body. When we release the hands, extended warrior. Inhale, palm the ground, right hand. Left arm, reach overhead. And inhale, release the left hand down, the left knee down. We have another little choose your own adventure. They're significantly different in just access and sensation. So if your shoulder feels super warm, robust, Vishvamitrasana, you get a little tuck of the right arm under the right thigh, and then the left hand searches for the outer edge of the right foot. You could do this as a half move, leaving the left knee down. You could do this as, the left knee up, the right foot up. And if that feels a little funny for shoulder, or you're just like, I don't know, you can have a seat and get that deep old side bend this way. Left hand grabbing the right foot. Now I'm using this right arm. You can either use it in the foot area, inner leg, spiraling open the chest. There you go. There, nice, nice. Got a little float and flight there. That's sweet. All right, when we release, inhale, softly set the limbs down. And draw that right leg back. Exhaling, let's just go downward dog. And we'll love on that other side. Interlock warrior. Inhale the left foot forward. Left arm encircles the left thigh. Right arm behind the back. The sound of struggle or strain, we know it very well. It's that grunting sound, or that sound made intermittent, like the stops and the starts. Feel, kind of check that out. Often it's a moment, a place where we're absent contact with the body. We usually grunt when we're kind of missing some sense of contact or being in. So these transitions give us just as much information, maybe more, than being, marinating in the pose itself. So extended warrior. Release the hands, remain right where you are. Palm the ground, left hand. And then take the right arm, reaching overhead. So the left hand is by the left foot. is directly to the inside of the left foot. Now, you do some different styles. That hand placement might be different, but the arm and the shin are right next to each other. Left hand next to the left foot. Yep. Left arm against the left shin, left ribs against the left thigh. Yeah, it's kind of a forward reaching torso move. Yep. And then take that right arm, wrapping the shoulder, reach it over your ear. Reach the right arm over your ear. There you go. So the reach of the right arm is kind of drawing on that whole swath of right ribs, just being further extended and drawn out by the reach of the right leg. All right. Inhale. Let's go hands down and Vishva. You can do this as knee up, foot up. You can do this as a half pose. It's a very, very deep side bend. Or you can do this as a seated side bend. With all these versions, we're walking, nearing this right hand to the left foot. There you go. Inner leg. So if you do have the foot, you're grabbing the foot, reach, turn on that inner leg. Big time. Big time inner leg. And when you release, letting the limbs down softly, step back, downward dog. And gently set knees down. We'll have a seat in straddle. We'll take a fold and straddle. So as I'm working the legs apart, I like to keep the toes oriented toward the sky. And as I'm folding, I'm feeling for that lengthy torso. So if there's a moment where I just kind of bubble down, I just pause, walk it out, lengthen, and then I'm even more careful and observant of where's that inclination to just kind of bloop, collapse into the gut. So I use that as a little walk it out, back it up, check it out sign. And inhale, walking our torso back upright. Help legs together. Lie back. Rest. Shavasana. When we started our practice, we started with an alternate nostril breathing, just changing our breath, just making the decision to switch how we're breathing and to start to tether or weave the workings of our mind to our breath. And to feel the breath weave in, land, and live in our body. And the way that we know our body, the way that we know that this terrain intimately, this contact deeply, and this mind clearly, the way that we know that does it feel warm, loving, accepting, clarifying, mysterious? Is there an overall impression of how it is you know your body now? And how you know your body earlier? And today we're just working with broad, general sense impressions, textures, tones, emotionality, color, timbre. I think it's so important for us to work in highly specific ways and super broad, zoomed out ways. This in and of itself is a flexibility of perception exercise. When we're infants, we don't have that depth perception yet. We just kind of generally see blobbishness. But gradually, as the lens of the eye it gets exercised, discovered, moved. It's like the lens of the eye starts to gain this expression. I can see a little further, I can see close. Similarly, with our perception, I can see the individuality of things. I can see the broad backing out the collectives and the systems of things. I could see up close the detail, the specificity, the uniqueness of a thing. I can zoom out. I can feel and sense the manyness, the wholeness. So in a sense, we're kind of infants, just right, exercising, finding out how these things move. When you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side. Oh, press up. Namaste.